Currently airing this season is Studio Trigger's BNA, Brand New Animal, which looks to be another round of Netflix furry baits that I pretend I don't want to watch. However, like the previous round of Netflix furry bait that I pretend I don't want to watch, Netflix won't be releasing it over here for a while, so I need to substitute the experience. So I watched Beastars, and it's not half bad. It lived up to the hype that was given to me by the titles of all those video essays which YouTube had the gall to believe I watched. It was a shame to miss out on it last year, and it reminded me of another fall season show that I missed out on, and also had a metric fuck ton of video essays made on it. This one being 2018's SSSS Gridman. And wouldn't you look at that, Studio Trigger made that, so now this introduction has come full circle. SSSS Gridman is based off a tokusatsu series from the 90s, featuring some memorable episode names such as Pet Dog Bomb Project, Sexy Policewoman SOS, and the death penalty for Papa. It also got an American adaptation called SSSS, and this is what the SSSS in the title is in reference to, although the S's here stand for something different. If I'm going to be honest, I often forget how many S's I'm supposed to be saying, so I'm going to just abbreviate it to Gridman. But I checked out this show last week because I needed to actually watch an action show, since I'd been watching Chunibyo the previous week, and this looked to be a change of pace. Anyway, the male lead in this show is called Yuta, and the female lead in this show is called Rika. Ah, for fuck's sake. It starts with Yuta waking up with a good old case of amnesia, as well as being seemingly the only person who can see the massive sodding kaijus that surround the city. But episode 1E shenanigans play out, ending with the reveal that, lo and behold, he can fuse with the titular Gridman to become giant and take down monsters. It starts off as a regular kind of tokusatsu deal, but after the first few episodes it appears there's more strings to its bow, and the plot becomes much deeper than the other Gridman media. Or at least, I assume it's deeper than other Gridman media. I don't know, maybe Sexy Policewoman SOS was an existentialist masterpiece. This plot is as much about its characters as it is about giant robots fighting, although that's not to insult the action. The animation doesn't necessarily scream Trigger to me, and nor does the character design, but that isn't a criticism of this show. In fact, I think this show looks better looking like it does, as opposed to what it would look like if the character design and fight animation had been as over the top as it typically is in other Trigger/Gainax works. The fight animation is done in a way where it looks like an old tokusatsu work, although the effects aren't as jarring since nothing looks out of place if everything is already animated. And with the non-kaiju scenes, the animation takes a backseat to direction, and that works wonders. Absolutely fuck all can be happening, but the atmosphere makes it so I'm giving a shit throughout the entire runtime. In terms of characters, there's Yuta, who is your standard teenage anime protagonist, in that he has amnesia and his parents are conveniently abroad. He strikes a balance between kid with newfound cool superpower and kid who doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's a decent protagonist, although not necessarily a masterclass in writing. But alongside him are Utsumi and Rika. Utsumi is a surprisingly good character, despite the fact they don't have much of a grand role in the plot. And by that, I mean he admits he has no role in the plot. He's basically how a tokusatsu fan would respond to be put in this type of situation, but that's what makes him an endearing character. Now for the bit about Rika. Hot take inbound. Rika's thighs in the anime itself aren't really all that. Yeah, I told you it was a hot take. Listen, Rika has some interesting moments, especially in her relationship with Shinjo, but I was told she was supposedly God's gift to thighs, and within the show I couldn't find much evidence to back that up. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, or maybe I just don't get thighs, but I personally believe that what I dub the Satania effect is in action here. Basically, this is my theory, in which something will appear in an anime, but then the internet will make it better. Because of this, people will believe that the original quality matches the quality of what they've seen on the internet. In this case, the thighs in the anime were made much better by doujins and fanarts. As a result, I've come to expect fanart quality thighs from the anime itself. But that's enough about Rika, especially because Shinjo is easily the best aspect of the show, with her interactions being humorous and her character arc being very important in ways I can't spoil. There are side characters who are much more exaggerated, and they add a lot of charm to the show, reminding us that this is still an anime where a person suplexes a dinosaur. But obviously, the most important character is Special Dogu. This is a hot dog. A hot dog with more screen time than some of the main characters. It has an egg on top of it, and while I'm not much of a fan of cold eggs, Jesus Christ the detail they have put into drawing that egg, and while we're at it, the rest of the fucking hot dog. So I appreciate the detail. Also, the way that Shinjo says special dog.
Special dog.
Music to my ears.
ごめん、マジでごめん。 大丈夫？
大丈夫大丈夫
Although on the subject of music, there kind of isn't much of it. For the earlier episodes, there's basically no BGM for 2/3 of the runtime, although towards the end of the series, the music becomes a bit more present throughout the episodes, but even then it's mainly just limited to fight scenes. I personally think that this works, as it would have lost a lot of the atmosphere I mentioned previously, which is one of this show's strengths. Plus, it means that it doesn't become reliant on its score. I say this having seen Promo, which has a slapping soundtrack, but one that means I remember when the music is playing, but not really what was going on in the story. Although the OP has got fuck all on the original 1993 opening.
目を覚ませ僕らの世界が何者かに死んで
In conclusion, SSSS Gridman is solid. I can't really go into much detail about it for fear of spoilers. It ends in such an interesting way, I'm flashing up some of the most cliche endings, with 1.5 of them being how this show ends, but in a way that doesn't feel like an ass pull and actually manages to be a really fitting ending. But, ignore this, go watch this show, and when you're done, find the Dakimakura company and email them with the following message. Where the fuck is my special Dogu body pillow?